Owning your morning actually starts the night before. I spend 15-20 minutes getting ready to have a successful morning. What that involves is setting out my clothes so that I don't have to think about it. My shoes are there, my socks. I've got a bottle of water already ready in the morning so that I just can hit the ground and do my morning walk, and I don't have to think about it. I don't have to second guess whether I want to do it or not. I just get up and I go. And that's a really important thing. And then the next thing you got to do is take the rest of that 15 minutes and start planning your day. You're looking at your calendar. You're seeing what your priorities are for the day. You're picking your number one highlight. The thing that if you get that done the next day, you will have won the morning and won the day. And so I figure out what that daily highlight is and I put it on my calendar. And then I decide what my 2 to 3 most important priorities besides that are, and I put it on an index card. And so I have everything ready to go for the next day. I've got it all written out, and I've looked at my calendar. I've put all my things for my executive assistant to do. I've created her to-do list. So I've set my day up for success, and I do that the day before. So what it does is it blows all the way up and then it deflates. Every morning, I think it's important to get out and move. And I start a 5,000 step or 2-mile walk. I get out, clear my head, I get in the sunlight, I exercise the dog, and I listen to something inspiring or a podcast to learn and grow. And then on the way back, all I do is think about that number one priority that I figured out the night before of what I needed to solve. And I work on that mentally, start trying to solve it, see if I can figure out how to do it before I get back to the office and start working on it. And so after this 5,000 step, 2-mile walk, I have now exercised, I've gotten out in the sun, I've walked the dog, I've listened to something inspiring, and I've worked on my number one priority until I can solve it mentally. This is a very important step in your morning routine, is getting out in nature and getting exercise and accomplishing all those things at once. So each morning when I get back from my walk and exercising the dog and getting out in nature, I come back, I only have about 15 minutes with my kids. They're busy running around getting ready for school, but I like to make them breakfast in the morning and see them off, and that kind of anchors my day. Since health is my number one wealth, I really want to put my focus on making sure I do some things that are hard in the morning and set my day off correctly. So what I do is I go into this sauna. Inside this sauna is a red light therapy. I'm also stretching. I'm also listening to a podcast or reading a book, something to grow. And so I'm doing all 3 of those things at once. And I'm in the sauna for about 30 minutes at about 165 degrees, also while the red light is going on. And then after I get out of the sauna, I go into the cold plunge at 50 degrees, and I do that for 3 minutes. And I believe that in life you need to do things that are hard, and when you do hard things you feel better. This gives me energy and it helps my overall health, and it's a very important part of my morning routine. All right, this is one of the most important parts of my day. So the night before, I set out the number one priority that I needed to work on. I set aside the 2 to 3 major things I needed to get done today, and now is my time to go in my office, lock the door, avoid the distractions, and knock out those key priority items so that I can finish winning my morning. One of the biggest distractions we all have is this. And so what I do during really important times, whether it be time with my family or when I'm doing my most important work, this goes in a box, it's turned off, and I don't touch it, and I'm free to focus on my number one priority. In addition to my morning walks 3 times a week, I do a workout with a personal trainer. This is a 30-minute high-intensity workout, and it's very important to have it scheduled. It's on my calendar, I don't miss it. He holds me accountable, and that 30 minutes is really, really important to my overall health, and I make sure it always gets in. All right, let's recap owning your morning. And it all starts with the night before, planning exactly what your key priorities are for the next day, writing out those things, setting up my assistant with all of her things on her to-do list, and setting out my clothes for the morning walk the next morning when my alarm goes off at 6:30 a.m. and I don't want to get up. My water's already there, my shoes are there, my clothes are all set out. So I 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm out the door, I'm exercising, I'm walking the dog, I'm growing. And then on the way back, it's complete silence. I am working on that number one priority thing that I have to do for the day in my mind mentally before I get back and work on it. When I walk back into the house, I'm making breakfast with my kids. I see them about 15, 20 minutes as they run around to try to get out for school, but that connection anchors me for the day. And after I make them breakfast, I then start to do something else that's hard, which is to get out and go in the sauna, do the cold plunge, red light, stretching, doing all of those things to work on my health. And then after that, I'm gonna shower, and then I'm gonna reward myself. Coffee is my reward. When I do the hard things, when I get up and walk and I do the sauna cold plunge, I do a coffee with my wife, we connect, talk about our day, and then after that, I go straight into the office. I eliminate all the distractions. I put my phone in a box and I work on that number one priority. And for the first hour or two, I get all those key priorities done. My assistant is knocking out her to-do list. She's managing my emails. And after that 2-hour session, I have completely won my morning. And then if I have anything else for the rest of the day, I get in my car and it drives me wherever I gotta go. My trainer meets me at my house to do my workout, so I get my health in, and my priority for health is on my calendar, so it happens every time. And by doing all that, I win my morning, and you can then conquer the chaos of the afternoon. Things are gonna happen in life, but if you win your morning in those first couple of hours, you've already won. And then whatever happens the rest of the day, it's already a win.